everybody. That's Shy. Welcome in. Welcome back, I should say, right, partner?
Yes. Thank you for having me back. Thank you for allowing me back on your show to keep up some more of your space and your time. And your audience's patience.
Talking about space, have you seen? I've invited you in today. You're in.
Yes.
Yeah, we used to do that in the front, right? In the front of my store, but since I had like my new model, I've opened up a little bit the house. So welcome to my living room.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny, Al. Well, for everybody, if it's your first time, because I don't know, maybe hello, welcome in. This is MEN YAP. My name is Janken Pomme, and my old partner in crime, Almantas, is here. I actually confused you with my Twitter post, and I thought it was funny. That was like peak old man moment.
Oh yeah, it was. Yes. Well, I mean, it was. You didn't do it on purpose. Don't give yourself too much credit.
I didn't. That's why I said like peak old man moment, because even my wife I confused. She was like, "Has it been 8 months?" And you were like, "Has it been 8 months?" And I was like,
I was like, that doesn't sound right to me at all. I was like,
I look on my channel and I was like, okay, last time was April. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's 8 months. It's been 8 months. But then I was on your channel last time for the first time, and I apparently completely forgot. Yeah.
Completely forgot about the September appearance.
Apparently, go figure. I mean, what can I say? Like it's old man moment there.
Yeah, it was a bit of an old man moment. And of course I do not have trust in my memory at all. And that's not even like a recent thing. That's not a recent thing. That's a lifelong
yes.
Even you can convince me I've forgotten anything.
I'm getting worse. Like it's never been good on my side either, but it's not getting any better, to be honest.
Mine is not getting worse. Okay. At least not recently.
Okay.
Over the last several years, I think it has largely improved because two things. My pre-VTubing job was a job that I did not like. It was a job that did not make me happy, and so that was one part of that, was just like being in a bad mood all the time. But part of why it had me in a bad mood all the time is that just simple things. I'm not expecting any like pity for this or anything. I have truly catastrophic insomnia.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, I have the kind of insomnia that like my mom noticed within 20 hours of me being born that something was fucked up. Like the same day my mom was like, there is something wrong with this baby. And so like I always have horrible insomnia, and before I was a VTuber, I was frequently leaving my apartment at 6 a.m. and getting home at 1 a.m. Which, combined with a person who takes like 3 hours to fall asleep, means that I was so sleep exhausted, I basically was almost never forming memories. So,
sleep is pretty big on memory, right?
Huge effect. Yeah. I'm sleeping much better than I did for a long time.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it before.
Yeah, and being, particularly I've moved to like more of a degen schedule as a streamer. Like this is like this is actually a slightly
maybe for some of my viewers are not aware, like what is your current, I know, but
I typically stream, I'm on US East Coast, and I typically stream at 10 p.m. US Eastern till like 3 or 4 in the morning. And
at least I've seen you go.
I've done some longer ones. I tend to consider like, so like going on, so like three would be like a on the shorter side for me.
Right.
But like 3 a.m. would be on the shorter side for me. Sometimes I am up like considerably later. And I try not to do like too much more than that, because I get like weird. I get like exhausted, and then I'm just kind of like on screen, just kind of like going through the motions. Yeah, no shit, exactly. But yeah, like all of this has conspired to. I'm a night owl by nature, right? Like if you give me a completely freeform schedule where I have no commitments, but I have to get work done, like it's all just like open-ended, like writing tasks in particular, because that's kind of been my career for most of my life. I will go to bed at like 8 a.m.
Yeah,
it's like the normal one. You're
putting the Almantas in
oh, it's so
there.
true. It's so true. It's so true. I usually assume that people associate me with owls because of the eyebrows, but there is something to that. There is something to that. But yeah, my memory's been getting better because of that.
That's good.
That was really my point. Yeah.
No, for sure. I do feel my sleep hasn't been amazing too, so maybe it is related. So today we usually just like randomly yap, right? But sometimes we have topics, sometimes we have like randomness, and when you asked me this time around, I kind of said, and I think you were kind of on board, since this is like toward the end of the year, which is crazy to me. That was a really crazy year for me, and I think for a lot of people actually. So yeah, we were like kind of like going to talk about a little bit of a year in review kind of thing, I guess. Things that happen affect us, affect the world, affect you guys even maybe. So that's what we're going for today. So would you say that 2025 you slept better? Like I do remember you didn't have this sleep schedule. Hey, do you know what's the first time actually about that? Because when I was doing my 8-month things, right, I was calculating. Since when like have we done like something? And you know when the first time we actually collab? Like it's much more. It's closing into 2 years. Could you believe this shit?
Holy crap! That's a heck of a way to put that.
Yeah, I know, right?
I am sometimes a little bit taken aback by so like my anniversary is May 20th. And so I had my second anniversary as a streamer on May 20th of this year. So I've been streaming since May 20th, 2023. There we go. That's how math works. And it's a little bit of a crazy thing because I still feel like I am learning a lot and finding my footing and getting used to being a streamer in general. So it's a little bit crazy for me to think occasionally that it's like, oh no, I'm like actually like quite a bit more experienced than quite a lot of people in the space. Like, and depending on the career field that I've been in, like there are workplaces where I've worked in where like they're like 2 years is like you're still like a little baby that like nobody respects. But like there's also ones I've worked in where it's like 2 years of like, no, you should know this job like the back of your hand. Like what are you talking about? And I can't be too harsh on myself on that front in streaming, right? Because nobody actually knows what they're doing.
A lot of people in streaming. Say that. I personally don't like saying that. It kind of empowers the fact that like I'm doing like low random whatever. I try my utmost best to have a little bit of control. It is true that at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that like we just don't know like how it's gonna go. I reference very frequently a video by Super Eye Patch Wolf about influencer courses and why he doesn't respect them. You told me about that before.
And the big insight that he has from that is like he's a successful YouTuber, right? He's a successful professional full-time YouTuber, and he knows what worked for him back when he took off 8 years ago, and things change so rapidly in the environment that like
are we
the people who are successful today
segue to the thing like you wanted to tell me about right before we start the stream?
We can do that. That's a little bit of a tricky one.
That sounds like
about success. That's true. Because
we're talking about Twitter, right?
A little bit about Twitter. But there's a specific concept. I forget exactly how we got to the specific concept, but I think some people in chat may have heard of this concept, but Janken had not, and I understand why you wouldn't have. Called the Skinner box. You had never heard of a
Wait,
Skinner box before.
Skinner. Maybe I do know the guy, the Skinner guy. What did he do again? He was doing like test on. Was it the dog thing or something? Like
Dogs was one, but he's not he's more famous for his involvement with rats.
Right. Okay. Now that
Rats.
I heard it properly, Skinner. I don't know why my brain was not connected.
Oh, that happens sometimes.
But
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
I think I know maybe, but you can go ahead though.
Sure. So for people who might not be familiar with this concept, the Skinner box is the colloquial term for the variable reward schedule. And B.F. Skinner is a guy. B.F. Skinner is I'm pretty sure quite dead psychologist.
Yes,
and he, what he did was he put some rats in a little cage, right? In a little, like individual rats in individual cages, not like particularly remarkable ones. You know, they had like a little bed and some toys, and they had a little lever that they could push, and when the rat pushed on the lever, a piece of food would come out, right? A little food pellet would come out. And so if you set it up so that you press the lever once, the rat will hang out and it'll run on its little rat wheel, and it might play with other rats if there are other rats available, and it will push the lever whenever it's hungry. And if you set it up so that it takes 20 lever presses for the thing to drop out a food pellet, the rat will do its thing, and then when it gets hungry, it'll press the lever 20 times. Or, some of the rats would, depending on their disposition, press it 20 times and a food pellet would come out, and then they push it a few more times. And then, so that they don't have to push it as much the next time, kind of preload it a little bit. All fairly simple. Then you set it up so that you press the lever, and there's a random chance that it drops out a food pellet. Right? So that means that the rat cannot know in advance how many times it has to push the food lever in order to get fed. If you do this, the rat goes fucking bonkers and just constantly is pushing that lever furiously.
We're fucking rats.
Right? Yeah. This is how Uma Musume works.
Well, RNG in general, right?
Oh yeah, well it's not how RNG in general works. It is how gacha works in general, and it's how slot machines work. It's there are RNG use cases that don't really do this because, like, this is not how like the RNG in a game of Dungeons and Dragons operates. It doesn't have that effect on you.
Yes,
because
yeah.
That's why I'm just like RNG is a broader concept.
I do understand what you mean. But isn't like. I feel like even like when I try, and I even had like talks with Nando about that. When I try to understand the like algorithm in general, right? And Nando always tells me, and he's right. I get frustrated because I'm someone who thrive to understand how things work.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's no. This is definitely a known thing about you, Janken, is that you want to solve the problems in front of you.
I often say I'm a QA in my blood. Like even if like
you
I would
are
completely leave the field, it's something that is like inherent in me. I like to understand things and try to fix them or make them better. It's something that I do. So I get extremely fatigued, annoyed, negative feelings.
Frustrated, I think is the simplest word. Yeah.
When despite my best effort to like come in agreement of understanding of a thing, let's say an algo, and I'm just like, I don't get it, man. And it's just like, I hate it. I hate it because like we were saying, like I like to have a certain type of control over like what I'm doing. And going a little random, just like throw shit at the wall until it stick is not something I appreciate. So there was a lot of that this year. This year. And if I have to learn anything, it's gonna be hard because it's kind of in my nature. Is trying to accept it. Question mark.
It's I mean, this is like an interesting it is interesting to think about this. This is what, so just as a side, I believe that is a Nate there. I love talking with. I love like comparing me and my friends, right, and like our personality traits. I actually really love this. I sometimes worry that it comes across as like obnoxious and critical, but I think it's like a fun way to like help me understand myself, and I hope that other people feel kind of seen by it. And so this is a place where there's like because I want to know as well, right? Like I really want to know. I am kind of infamous for making spreadsheets of any game I play.
Okay.
So like I've been playing Rabbit and Steel, which is a pretty simple game, and I got really caught up.
I've seen you play that, and I'm like, this doesn't fit with this guy. What's up with that? I don't know why. It is something where like I went with my model and my branding based off of how people see me and how people interact with me and the tone that I actually present. The types of games that I actually enjoy the most are really ADHD co-op action games. My most played game of all time is Warframe. Oh, really? I didn't know you were a Warframe player.
I have over 3,000 hours in Warframe.
Oh, wow.
I've played so much Warframe. Because
Yeah, go ahead. Why?
Because I'm a very calm guy, so I need things that are non-calm to like. Like that's you want what you don't have.
Yes.
You know,
okay, I get that feeling. I am guilty.
You want what you don't have.
Guilty of that.
So Rabbit and Steel is not really that complicated of a game, but I got a bee in my bonnet about like how a specific item in the game works. So I've been doing data entry of every action in the game to see how they're affected by this one item. Because I am like, I want to know.
My brain is instantly like, what a fucking nerd.
Oh no, it's extremely fair. Janken, that's extremely fair. I have literally, there are some games where I have literally opened up, I would say Excel, but I'm actually a big enough nerd that I don't use Excel. I use LibreOffice Calc because Excel actually starts to shatter if you have more than 1 million rows.
Oh man, oh my god, I am quite aware about Calc. That. Because I worked in QA, right? Not my field, but I had to help on language quality assurance. Okay?
Oh yeah, you're gonna get over 1 million entries.
And then seeing like Excel crash all the time because there would be like too many lines. Oh, brother!
I had a. I actually this will really make it clear how big of a nerd I am. I used to do character optimization and theory crafting for Lancer. And one of my Lancer sheets, one of my probability calculators I used for Lancer had 8 million rows.
Okay.
So that should give you a sense of like it also should give if people understand Lancer and understand how numbers. Though? Oh, well, actually, that one was one was very funny. That was a brute force.
Interesting.
I was doing a brute force attack on a probability distribution of a dice pool. It was totally unnecessary. It was absolutely unnecessary. There were absolutely more elegant solutions. There were radically more elegant solutions, but I really prefer brute force. Because brute force you can't fuck up. You can't fuck up brute force. So I if there's a brute force option, I will almost always go for it.
Depends on how you see the fuck up. It can take you a fucking long time.
Yeah, well, I mean, the brute force can be very slow. But that's something that I am willing to accept. I'm willing to accept slow solutions that have high confidence.
Okay.
Anyway,
I get it.
Again, this is, but yeah, where I was going with all this is that I'm saying, like, again, I am a huge goddamn nerd. I want to know, right? That is like the part of the gameplay that I consider interesting in most games is the process of finding out. The actual process of execution I find a lot less interesting, and once I get to a game where like I know everything that's happening in the game and it's just a matter of like getting better execution, I tend to move on to the next game.
I know you don't like Uma Musume, man, but it's a spreadsheet game.
It is. My aversion to spending money and gambling is like a huge.
I told you can play the game without spending money. It's feasible, because the RNG aspect means that like even the biggest whale may not like always win, because there's so many probabilities that get thrown in the racing. That there's a chance for someone who's trying very hard with their free-to-play. I have one of my mods, Zerzon. I don't think I've seen him today.
Yeah.
But he's totally free-to-play. He told me, like, I haven't spent... And he's very competitive, like, despite, like, not spending any money. But anyhow, I do... What I meant is that I do understand, at least as a spec.
Yeah. But where I was going with this, right, is that I am... my actual training, where the career that I prepped for most of my life was academia.
Right.
The entire point of academia. People sometimes think that the point of academia is to teach people. Wrong. Teaching people is a tax on academia. From academia's perspective, they teach people because if they don't teach people, there will not be researchers in the future. The purpose is the research. Research is the point.
Is it not which is to money, which is the bigger purpose, to be honest?
Like no, that's what business is for. Which is, well, I mean, this is why universities are getting sold for the copper wiring, is because the university that's getting political. It's getting very political. But the mission statement of universities, the guiding principle of the university system as a conceit is expanding human knowledge.
Right. Yes, at its best, right?
Yeah. What I mean is just like that is the express purpose, right? That's the express explicit purpose is to increase the sum total of human knowledge. So what that means is that any work that you are doing inside a university, like the real work, not the fake bullshit work of teaching and administration, but the real work is you are going up to the absolute boundaries of what any person has ever known. You are staring into a vast apocalyptic expanse of ignorance.
Trying to bring it back maybe with that topic.
Yeah.
I feel that this year more than ever, like what you just said, felt like something, like I even told like Ms. Janken, I was like, I feel like the era of truth is gone over. Like
it's
like finding what's real and what's not, and like with AI and with the also the misinformation online, and I'm trying
this
to
year has been
what you're saying
been a little bit eye-opening for me. The AI the way the AI has played out has been fairly eye-opening to me. That just like my point was that I think I am somewhat more comfortable with ignorance and the unknown than you are, because it was something that I had to be trained to be very comfortable with, because it was fundamental to the work I was doing for a long time. But I had made an assumption for a long time that a search engine that lies to you is not a good search engine, and that people wouldn't be interested in it.
But the thing is that people like apparently don't care. Exactly, right? Like people would just take any answer over not having an answer, which is insane. I would rather have ignorance than misinformation. What the hell? In my case,
it has been. I feel like there's like a personality difference here, and I'm not sure like how it breaks down, right? Because like. I don't think it's entirely random. I don't think it's entirely, because there's a like it was actually really good how you put it, like ignorance versus misinformation. So like our options are like you can have in theory, right? Like we want an honest answer.
Yeah. And
if we can't get that, would you rather get an honest lack of answer or a dishonest answer?
Yeah.
Right? Like are you willing to get, would you, and so to me, right, that reads completely insane. that it's like no, like I think that it's just infinitely preferable to have an honest lack of an answer over a dishonest answer. Like, it just feels like, like straightforwardly, like why,
or
especially for a machine,
at least being told that there's could be uncertainty and not having to read in the bottom like all answer could be wrong. No. I want like the thing to tell me there's not enough to actually make an answer, but with the probability of what kind of like
like this is something that's speculative. This is something that's contested.
Exactly.
Like, and it's I part of me wants, because like it's also clear, like again, like you and I both are in agreement that this is insane, that somebody would ever want to be told bullshit confidently and prefer that to just being told I don't know. And clearly there are people who don't agree with us on this. Clearly there are some people who don't agree with us.
Again,
so like there's
I'm
a
not
population
a fan of being told I don't know. I would rather have someone being like, I'm gonna make like an educated guess than I don't know. Because I think I don't know is just like you didn't try, right? But there's a limit.
Well, see, it's interesting to see these differences, right? Because a project, something that I've been really interested in the last year or so has been ancient history, ancient Rome and ancient Greece, and so what was the daily life of a Roman farmer like, of the average Roman like? And the actual most honest answer is we don't know.
But you could do don't know, but
yeah, that's what I was going to say was I don't know. We have some things that we can be fairly confident about at varying levels, but there is also just like, unless we find some really substantial new sources of information, which we might, it's not impossible, but we haven't so far, we can't say with a high degree of confidence what their life was like. And
but that's not I don't know, right? To me, this is extremely different.
Well, I mean, it is also I don't know. Like it is also that, and like
there's. But
wait, I mean, this gets us into a. You are being picky, and this is a. I am fairly willing to. I'm willing to accept quite a bit of I don't know, because of this is the actual nature of how physics works, right? This is the actual nature. If you've ever heard of that famous Heisenberg uncertainty principle, the actual nature of it is that the amount that you can know about a particle, there's a maximum amount of knowledge you can have about a particle. Like, people tend to put it in like a pretty like wordsy way that like, oh, you can know either the position or the momentum of a particle. And what it is that there's an amount of unknown. There's an amount of I don't know. There's a quantifiable number of I don't know. And that budget has to be spent. That I don't know budget has to be spent across a particle's location and momentum. And it's just like I don't know-ness. There's literal I don't know baked into the universe, into the mathematical structure.
True. No, you're right. You're right.
It is frustrating. It is frustrating, right? It is frustrating. I'm not going to deny it. It's frustrating. It's just I just kind of got used to it at some point.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean. But
yes, and actually this does get to
context. Though,
the AI. No, I have kind of like lost my mind a little bit. It's just like because like some of the people who I've talked to who are comfortable with how AI tells them nonsense are people that I was not expecting.
Oh,
like I know like a career chemist who's just like, who's like, oh, so like if you're going to go travel abroad, like, why don't you just like ask the AI about how difficult it is to do these things there? And I'm like, I literally know people who live in that country. I can talk to them. Why would I ask the AI? And he's like, well, but the AI might be faster. I was like, I don't hate
always
these people.
The fucking that's the thing, right? 2025 was, to me, not only, like I said, like an era of where truth is kind of disappearing, but also everything has to be fast. Everything has to be, how can I say, has to be tweaked to like be to not have any how can I put this into words?
Friction?
Not really friction, but like we don't want to think anymore. It has to be right now, like no at any cost. Like solution has to be faster, content has to be faster, without like the giving us the time to actually this ruminage. Like we're having a little bit on this stream actually. Like we're just kind of talking about things and throwing the ball one side and then the side. Like I feel like the way that I've seen content is just like thrown at me, and it has to be constantly thrown at me all the time. And I don't know. I feel like I maybe it's part of being older, but I feel like everything has been faster. Everything is
there is an element of that. That's like a traditional, centuries-long old man complaint that everything seems to be moving faster and faster as you get older.
Yes.
That said, I have been feeling like, in a way that I haven't seen since like the 70s, a bit of a backlash to that. That I have been seeing more people be like, no, I am full.
Yes,
right?
the common people, like that are not like the one that are living it, right? What I'm talking about is more the one that are deciding it. The one.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, this is like perhaps one of the biggest political problems that's out there, right? One of the grand political problems of wait, hold on, like the people who are making decisions are making decisions that are not good for the majority of people, right? It's like the arguably the political problem to end all political problems. And this one feels particularly frustrating. Like I said, I feel like there's a distribution about how people interact with AI, and people have tried to make divisions that I don't think are reasonable. But one division that I did see substantiated is, what is your relative position in your company to the end product? So the way that I saw it play out was about 20% of people who, this was among programming companies, about 20% of people who do like line programming, like actual programming, are using AI tools.
Yeah. And by the way, this is super relevant to this year. Me being especially in the gaming industry and programmers in general, like the layoff this year.
Yeah.
In this domain that like the field that you're talking about right now, it's crazy. It's stunning.
It's great. It's but yeah, about 20% of people who are actual programmers are using it. About 50 to 60% of managers are using it. And then when you get into the executive suite, it's almost 90%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if that says something about the type of person who gets into those roles, or if it says something about like how much you actually need to know about the product you're doing, or how much it says about the types of problems people at those levels are trying to solve. But it's the experience of the programmers I've known. I don't know many people. You might actually be the person I'm closest to who works actually in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Well, at the moment is like kind of but I was
more thinking I might have known. I've known some other people I think were like actually in the gaming industry, but like I haven't.
No, but I was.
So
I work for games. I work like I've talked about that on stream, so I can talk about it.
Yeah,
I've quit a job this year In the gaming industry, I work like for Blizzard. I work on Overwatch 2. I work on Diablo 4. I work like on big titles, Call of Duty. And so I was literally working on games. And I quit that job. And I can tell you, like, the higher ups like treat like AI like a fucking cult. It was like like the nonsensical way that they bring it like to their employee, thinking that everyone is like yay, and like as if like what they said like made any sense for the common people, was like borderline like insanity.
I remember very distinctly a friend of mine who works in software, right? He's a programmer, but not in gaming. He's working on like a different type of programming. Still kind of like end user focused eventually, but like other software. And they're pushing AI on his workplace. And the conversation I remember having with him like almost a year ago now was, the AI is like making suggestions on how to change his code. And he looks at one of the suggestions the AI programmer makes, and he rejects the suggestion. And his boss goes, "Why did you reject this suggestion?" And he just goes, "This would change what the program does. Like it's not like a wrong piece of code. It's just like, to use like an Excel version here, because I don't really understand the type of stuff he was doing. Think about the difference between count and sum, right? Like those are totally different." Right? Those are like completely different things. They sound similar, but they are different things. To do a count if and a sum if, those are completely different things. And that's like what the AI was suggesting, was just like, oh, like why you were asking for a sum, but what if you just change it to count? It's like, well, then you've got a different program. And then he had to explain to his boss that like this wouldn't be the same program at all. And like, we're not being hired to make that program. We're being paid to make a program that does one thing, and the AI would just make a different thing that isn't the product that we were hired to make. So I didn't use it. And his boss was like, "Oh, wow, I didn't think about that." It's like, insane. This is literally the only thing you have to think about. Literally the only thing you have to think about. What are you talking about? Like,
I had a meeting with one of the executive, whatever, I don't remember, someone who's like leading that AI cult where I used to work, and not only they did a lot of things for not only games but any type of like programming that has also languages. Like I said, I did a little bit of testing for language, and I do remember that meeting because I intervened. I asked questions and challenged them because I'm that kind of guy. And I remember, what were they saying? They were saying that they are anticipating content. Like when I say content, I mean anything that is like that could have text in it, right? Programs, games, visual,
stop signs,
ads,
menus,
stop signs, exactly, everything, right? They are expecting, when AI is in full swing, in their AI like landscape world that only them live, and that there will be so much content because it's gonna be so fast that the only answer to that speed is having AI to also do everything on quality assurance side, because it's going to be too much, because there's going to be too much content, and like they don't even think that like in their world that they're going to be like human content in the nearish future,
which is weird, right? And
for that they were pushing you need to adapt, and if you want to keep your job, literally threatening people, literally, like there was a couple times like they're literally threatening people like that they're gonna fire them. You need to like adapt, and you need to learn AI now by becoming like like an operation, like AI operator or whatever. Like they love like to change that title like every now and then to fit the market in
which
their
is
vision.
Which it's really again that's one of those ones that like super duper interesting as a series of claims, because as a series of claims it runs into a really, really huge problem, which is, wait, your customers fucking hate it, and you're having to like actively yell at your customers to accept the AI outputs. So like, how is that commensurate with like this is something that's like inevitable? Which is like the
inevitable because they're gonna push for it no matter what. Because for them, the cost is so lowered that in a capitalist way, this is the maximum ideal. So for them, they don't give a fuck. Like that's the thing. Customers are not important anymore. Like,
well, I mean, eventually you need. Well, they are trying to sell a product to customers.
Yes, but at some point, the customer won't have a choice. So we're gonna get.
That's a theory. That's a theory. I don't know if it's true. That's where I'm going. I don't know if it's a true theory. There's a lot of. You can have a lot. You're entitled to a lot of theories. You're not entitled to your theory being true.
Yeah,
like,
but
you have
let's
to demonstrate
see, for
it.
example, let's see, for example, how shrunkification and all those terminology had. Like, we don't have a choice. Yeah. This has happened, and you don't have a choice. If you want, like, unless you have a lot of money to spend on very, very local stuff because they can't match the prices, right? We're all victim of that. We can't. I don't. If you think you can fight it, you gotta tell me how I can get like unless like I need to check all product and make sure like which one like are actually giving, like I have to like literally spend so much time trying to not being robbed by these kind of things that in a way
I myself am personally I think fairly good at managing dealing with that, but that's because Janken, this is a case where I'm so fucking old school.
I knew it. I
have a. I write down. Whenever I go to the grocery store. Whenever I go to the grocery store, I keep the receipts. I keep my receipts and I write them down in a spreadsheet, and I calculate the cost per gram of everything I buy. I've been doing this for 7 years.
Oh my god!
I mean, you're giant spreadsheet of 7 years of all
you're fucking smart. Like that's what. This is how you fight it, but it requires like a certain.
Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely like takes time and effort.
But I'm just the only way to fight it. Don't you agree? Otherwise,
I can think of a couple of other ways to fight it, but the first other option that comes to mind is I'm not recommending. I'm just saying that it exists. It's just important to know what the boundary conditions of the universe are. The most obvious answer is to just steal everything. So
let's go eat the rich.
Yeah, just I don't know what to tell you that will that if you just steal everything, you will not be getting ripped off on how much you're paying for things.
That was so funny that your model could not handle it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm back. Yeah. Well, and actually, that is not a go signal. That's just an indication. But that is just a reminder that there are many options in the world. That this is a wide world.
Yeah,
that we live in.
You're right. We often like limit ourselves, but
it's true. It's
a solution.
It's a solution. One of the things that kind of stands out to me with the AI thing is that there have been a lot of technologies that have been widely adopted in our lifespans, right? And the technologies that I think have actually been the most, this is one of those things, there's a bit of an inverse relationship between how impressive a technology is and how much advertising it needs to have. So you don't do any hardware work, right? On like computer hardware, you don't really think about it too much, right?
Depend. Like, give me an example, perhaps.
I'm going to talk about capacitors.
Not to that extent. No, it would be a lot more superficial.
Okay. Between the year, so a capacitor is a really fundamental like electronics component. It's not much more complicated than like a resistor. It's like a very, very simple thing. A capacitor is a thing that temporarily holds electric charge and then discharges it over time. So it's similar to how we use a battery, but for a much shorter term, right? They're much shorter term. They're much simpler. They're very, very simple. They just kind of store electrical potential energy. This is really useful for like very basic like electrical circuit board work. If you want, the unit of capacitance for them is a farad, which is a ludicrous unit of measure. 1 farad is enormous. And when I was learning electronics, a 1 farad capacitor was the size of a truck.
Okay.
They are huge. They are terrifying. Between around 2000 and about 2005, we made such enormous improvements to capacitors that a 1 farad capacitor is the size of a 100 yen coin.
Okay.
Think about how much of a miniaturization that is. That is a millionfold miniaturization in under a decade.
Yes.
To a basic electrical component that is in almost every single goddamn thing that you use every day. Probably dozens of them. You've never heard about this, right?
Right.
Like, unless you were like doing electrical work during that time period, you don't hear about this because, and it's everywhere, and it was massively adopted because it's just that fucking good. There was no, we didn't need to get the richest men on the planet on TV telling you this is the inevitable future and you just need to get used to it, because it just was the inevitable future and you don't need to advertise inevitability. You don't need to persuade people of the inevitable because it's inevitable. There's no need to do that.
I literally know where you're going. I get it. Yep.
Yeah. And so I am not convinced that this generative AI stuff has much of a future. Right? I am actually pretty skeptical about it having a truly substantial future. I am convinced that it's going to leave us with a lot of long-lasting consequences, but I think it's entirely possible that 5 years from now you will not be able to go to ChatGPT and have it tell you, haha, you're so sexy, you're so cool for believing that lizard people rule the world. I don't think that that's going to be our future. I think the code, unsurprisingly, right? Like, the code has been developed and the code will be reusable and replicable going forward. But I'm with you, Itachi. I am not convinced that something that requires so much infrastructure that people are opening up off the grid power plants is something that, like, it's something that simultaneously requires off-the-grid power plants, which is like one of the funniest phrases I've ever heard in my life, and I really need to know more about this because I've heard this phrase from a couple of rural activists I know, and I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? What the fuck? What is that? What does this mean? Why are people making power plants that are off the grid? That's kind of the entire point of the grid. That's kind of what the grid is. like, what are you talking about? A technology that requires this level of infrastructure, but also doesn't have any customer enthusiasm. That's like a big thing. It's like the OpenAI is just constantly coming out and being like, yeah, we haven't found a use case.
The thing though is, I do believe that maybe this won't be it, right? Who knows? But there are a lot of, I don't know if I can say think tank, but a lot of capitalist think tank that, like, in their world, they will make money using no money. right?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
so
and I think that a lot of people are kind of like having some sort of like weird delusion that like this could be like an upbringing to that, right? They want to have like automatic everything without paying anything, in a way.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think that some people are like thinking that this is it, this is happening, this is the future.
Yeah.
So if it's not in this format, I do think a lot of people are pushing for.
Oh, the people have wanted this, but I mean, also part of the reason why I think I qualify as a bit more, why I'm coming across a bit more skeptical is like we've had this before, right? Like the idea that like we can get something for nothing, right? And this is the people have wanted this for forever. Like this is because why wouldn't you, right? Like if you had the option to have something for nothing, why wouldn't you take that, right?
Yeah, but they're already doing it in a way when they outsource to Malaysia, India is like they're trying to get as much as possible as paying nothing.
Oh yeah, no, that's absolutely, yes.
But then the next step is to have literally nobody.
Oh yeah, and I don't think they're going to get that.
They're trying though. They will forever try, I think.
Oh no, I mean, but that's actually kind of what I mean by like we've been having this for forever, right? Is that like people thought that we were going to get infinite labor for no cost to the owners starting in the 1700s, right?
Right.
Like this is something that people have always been like, oh, the number of papers that I have read, the papers and books that I have read from the 18th century, from the 19th century, from the 20th century that are this technology is going to eliminate the need for human labor entirely. It is every single pretty much every automation technology that we have developed that is more complex than a water wheel has had this, right? It's like the water wheel is the last time people looked at an automation technology and said like, oh, this is a huge labor saving, but that's cool. And just kind of went with it. People thought we were going to do it with steam engines. They thought we were going to do it with like old transistor computers.
The thing
thought
is, though,
like,
right, is that to come back, like to talk about this year more than ever, okay? More than ever, even if maybe, AI is not going to be the thing or whatever, and I've talked to a lot of people. I can say about me, right? I cannot say about everyone, but I've talked to a lot of people. At least for me, I have found for the first time in my life in a situation where I'm just like, jobs, finding a reliable job that is not instantly trying to like use me, like. And not like having something long term, something like with good values. It's just like being in a good place job wise has been the hardest of all of my life. And I have the skills, I have the experience, the age, to kind of like I shouldn't have issues like trying to find something, but I've seen people like even more talented than me in a certain aspect just being unable to just find anything. Like it's this year has been so rough, and I know about me, but I've been told by many others. Like I've seen people lose their job like more than ever in my life. And if AI is not the cause of that, well, there's something going on, because I feel like the despair over work, I've never felt as strong as this year, I feel.
I'm not going to contest on that. I will say, so this was kind of like where we kind of circled around on what my big take on AI. My big thought about artificial intelligence is that AI is not primarily the AI as the phenomenon that we are seeing in our, because we are talking about the phenomenon. We are not taught. Me and Janken have not said anything about the underlying programming, or about any of the optimization, or about any of the coding, or any of that stuff right now. Right? We've never made any technical claims here. AI, the social phenomenon that we are seeing on social media and in the workplace, is not primarily a technological innovation. It is a legal innovation. And a really good example of this is that the way that OpenAI interacts with books in specific, it is acknowledged, even by Sam Altman, the CEO of the company, that what they are doing is plainly and straightforwardly illegal, according to the existing legal code. That if they had to obey the law as written in a straightforward, simple, and obvious way, they would go bankrupt instantaneously.
And yet
they continue to do so because this is the really simple. Arguably, depending on who you ask, this is like either the biggest truth or the Achilles heel of the American legal system or whatever. The law things are only as illegal as they are enforced.
Yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. If there are laws on the books that are simply not enforced, right? Like a famous one in New Jersey, it's illegal to slurp soup loudly.
Oh,
right.
That's interesting.
Nobody's gotten penalized for that in like 200 years, right? Like it's on the books. Nobody cares. Okay. And there's all these things where like things are as, and this is just things are as illegal as the enforcement,
right?
As the enforcement.
No, it makes sense.
Like it's very, very trivial truth. I don't think that's like a nuclear hot take right there. I think it's just a thing that we kind of know.
Would you say then that it's kind of a vehicle to just like fuck the people over?
Oh yeah. No, that's what I think is the innovation that's happening here. Is that it is not that they don't need to pay people anymore, or that they don't need to create good products. It is that they are using this as a pretext to make arguments in a court of law.
I think did we?
Yeah.
I remember a conversation. Maybe we had something similar this year.
Maybe. I've had this conversation a few times because I think it's an important thing to keep in mind, right? That like you say like we're talking about, like, oh yeah, like under this thing about capitalism. The thing is that all of the things that the capitalists do require that somebody eventually buy the shit that they're selling you. Right. So like eventually somebody has to pay for it. And you can't just make nothing. Eventually somebody is paying for it. Eventually you need to create a product that somebody buys. Underneath all economic activity, somebody is either pulling a rock out of the ground or pulling a plant out of the ground, right? All economic activity eventually comes into that. And so you can't just never do that. You can't do things completely out of thin air. Eventually somebody needs to grow food and mine minerals. There's like a kind of bedrock here. There's a kind of like absolute bedrock. And so again, like I said, I think this is primarily about a series of legal innovations to not pay authors, to not pay programmers, to not pay artists. That's what it looks like to me. And that's bad. Like, that's bad on the face of it. I think that outside of that, there are further political considerations, right? Like you were talking about. Also, hello, Sharkray, one of my regulars. We got a couple of my regulars around here. It's really funny. We're trying to have a year in review, and we're mostly just vetching about the topic that we can't stop complaining about.
I mean, to be honest, that was in my year. It was huge. It was huge as a content creator, as someone who works in the gaming industry. I would say that was the most definitive thing of my year.
It's affected. Been my non-VTubing work is in nonfiction. I work in small press nonfiction. not for any of the big companies. I would be shocked and alarmed if anybody here was familiar with the publication I work for. The
shocked and alarmed.
What we have found is that AI, the prevalence of AI has perversely increased demand for our product.
Interesting.
Well, because we were never selling mass market stuff, right? We were always selling a niche product to a niche audience of people who were interested in crafted, researched papers, right? That was always the only people who ever bothered with us were people who were really frustrated with the amount of credible sounding bullshit that they were bombarded with and wanted something that was not credible sounding bullshit.
I guess there was a lot more than that.
Yes. This is my ultimate take about the LLMs, is that what LLMs make, and this is kind of riffing on some stuff that Ms. Janken was saying, what an LLM actually makes is credible sounding bullshit. And this is the reason why I've never been impressed with it, is because are you seriously trying to tell me that in the year 2023 and 2024, we had way too little credible sounding bullshit in the world? No, like, come on, man. No, that's garbage. Our problem was always that we had too much of that garbage and we need to figure out how to sift through it. And then somebody just turns on a thing that just makes seemingly infinite quantities of it. It's like, why would we want this? And so...
But you just asked something interesting. Why would we want this is maybe a question that I've been asking myself this year. Because, and also in the content making, right? Because the word slup, I think it's one of the dictionary have actually decided.
Merriam-Webster. Is Merriam-Webster
is that the one
word of the
that they went
for?
For
Merriam-Webster.
Yeah.
They went for slop. And it's...
It's crazy to me. I don't get it.
I definitely agree with you on that. It's especially funny because like I was definitely coming around to like, okay, it's time to retire slop as a term. It's like we've gone too far.
But apparently people want it. That's what I've been told. People seek it. People want something that is so something that you don't need to think so hard that they are welcoming this kind of like brainless content and seeking it and demanding it.
I mean, it's interesting to think about how much, the people are seeking it and demanding.
Right. Of course. There's a lot of people in the world, right?
And it's I guess like I am also partially kind of
but like we're kind of hipster, so we don't really.
Yeah, no.
Like,
a thing that I like to point out fairly frequently is that my most deeply held and like strongly held belief and thing that I care about in the world as an individual is veganism. I'm vegan. I've been vegan for a very long time. It is something that's very rooted in my personality and in my daily life. And do you know how many other vegans I know?
Well, I would say it depends on if you're trying to seek to be.
So here's a way to really illustrate this, right? I am in Brooklyn, right?
Right, but I'm in Japan, but I don't talk to fuck all anybody, so.
Okay. I live in fucking Brooklyn. I do talk to a lot of people. The only vegan that I talk to on any regular basis is Capable Mabel.
Capable Mabel? What?
A VTuber.
Okay.
She's Quebecois, by the way. She is Quebecois.
There's another one who's very active. Girl DM has been very active on this kind of topic. It's not very veganism, but something like the kind of related. So I do. Well, I don't know Girl DM.
I'm not friends with her, so I can't say. I've not actually ever had a conversation with Girl DM.
I've seen the topic in the community.
Yeah, my point here is just that my actual point here is not that I'm not trying to convert anybody to veganism right now. It is that my point here is that I am very used to having incredibly unpopular opinions.
Actually, I'm thinking about it. Veganism, in a way, I'm trying to make connection here. Like we're talking about slop, right? Slop, easy, brain dead content. Like you don't have to think. It's just you consume and you laugh, and then like you scroll, and then you're just scrolling, right? You're disconnected because your job, like you hate it, because you hate, like, I don't know, you're negative, or you're just too tired, this kind of feeling, right? And in the same way, consumerism, right? Veganism is a type of consumerism, and in the sense that, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's fucking complicated. It makes, like, if I wanted to be vegan, it would make my life like so much harder. Like maybe if I get used to it, yada yada, and like I get to like learn like the easy good way to do that. And I live in Japan, which like doesn't make it like easy either at all. Which is
Japan's it's but it's like I said, my point with this was just like,
but I was trying to use
I am unintimidated by the possibility that like I am going to have an unpopular opinion, because sometimes I'll encounter these arguments that are just like, but like most people aren't like that. I'm like, but I am. So, and I've been this way for a long time, so deal with it. Right? This is a skill issue.
I was trying to go for, like, of course, like you're always like, I'm fine, absolutely, like I don't judge on that. But what I'm trying to say is just like the same way that maybe veganism wouldn't be an unpopular vote if like it was made like easier to like just like access, right?
Possible.
It's like
possible.
It's if I was given a very marketable, easy way to just like be vegan and like in a way that like you like to cook and all that kind of stuff, right? But not everybody's into that.
I do love to cook.
But everybody's into that, you know, and that's okay. Maybe they want to be vegan too. but it's not like kind of made easy. And then you're gonna be like, you know, some people are like, oh yeah, you know, but like you easy solution. This is why like we can have like this kind of thing, because like the fact that like it's easy is because we're using also like the easiest solution, and veganism is not the easiest solution sometimes. Anyway, all this to say that like it kind of reflects on, I feel, if we didn't seek always the easiest and brain dead option, maybe even something like veganism would be something more appealing to a lot of people.
I mean, possible. I will say that it's the, just kind of as an aside, the experience Mabel's any vegan I talk to with any regularity, but you know, I'll go to the vegan subreddits and stuff. The actual material experience of going vegan, quite easy. The social pressure to not be vegan is substantial.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can say less about Japan or Canada, but in the United States, meat eating is especially associated with masculinity. And so it is often seen as kind of an impugnment of a person's masculinity and virtue and and such to not be
it is a very American problem, I feel.
It is I don't think it is uniquely American, but it is very common in America to treat like eating meat as more virtuous than not eating meat. But that's kind of an aside. The actual, like I said, the actual point is that I am deeply unintimidated by having an unpopular opinion, and even if there are people who do just want the easiest, sloppiest solution. I mean, it's clear that there are people whose tastes are extremely not my taste at all. I will periodically, occasionally catch an episode of, say, NCIS. NCIS is more popular than the concept of VTubing at large, just by itself. It's a single TV show that's more popular than this entire media infrastructure that we are a part of.
Depend where in the world.
I think
depend where in the world.
Well, okay, within America, within the United States.
Oh yeah, for sure. America
and
really
I think it is.
for VTubing.
I think it is the most boring goddamn thing on the planet. I do not understand how somebody. It is more boring to me than watching the grass grow. Like it is baffling to me how boring it is. And people watch it all the time, and I'm just like, wow, you really, genuinely, you could be watching reruns of How It's Made right now and be having a much more entertaining time. But people are watching it, and you know, and I don't entirely know what to say about that.
It's comfortable.
It's comfortable.
It's probably for them.
I have my own comforts, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend that I'm the most adventurous person on the planet. I think I am more adventurous than average, but that's not the same as infinitely adventurous. And like I said up top, I think people tend to want what they don't have. And you know, I did know, not personally, but like via my general social network, a woman who was an NPC streamer. Right?
Yes.
For, you know, like
God. That was the thing that happened this year, right? That was it was
I think it's older. I think it's older because I remember this because this was a story from a roommate I haven't had for a year. Maybe so it's got to be older than a year. And like, why would you be an NPC streamer, right? And the answer was not because she desperately needed the money. The answer was that she worked at like 5 different hospitals. And so her daily life was impossibly stressful, right? And so this was a mechanism to allow her to unplug.
Yeah, like
and to not be in charge of somebody's life
like
for a couple of hours a day.
Like slub binging. This is the same thing that happened, I feel, when someone watched slops. Like that was their way.
Yeah.
But I feel this is the same kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I am sympathetic, but like I said, it's not my life. You know, I myself love challenges, right? I love challenges.
Me too. I love challenges that like I shouldn't challenge myself with.
Did you know the insane challenge that I did over the summer?
You like to challenge yourself a lot, so I'm not sure which one.
The really goofy one that I did over the summer that is like
the
actually
one, or...
no, that was in the spring of earlier in the year. So when I went to Off-Kai, I injured my wrist. By having bad writing posture.
Oh wow.
So the challenge that I gave myself, because I didn't want to stop streaming calligraphy, was I learned how to do calligraphy with my left hand.
I think maybe you didn't mention.
Yeah. I started with an art form that is already a pain in the ass. And then I worked with my non-dominant hand, and I was writing it backwards. I was doing mirror scripts. It legitimately gives me a headache to even like remember what it was like.
Do you often like watch in the mirror and you go, "What the fuck is my problem?"
I remember a very specific moment of working on it where I was doing it on stream, and I remember a specific moment where I'd been writing for like half an hour, and then I used the OBS filter to flip a source.
Oh my god!
The transform, not the filter. Transform to flip a source. I was like, oh my god, this is legible. I can read this. I felt magical in that moment. I felt incredible. But like there's a lot of people that I would talk to about that, and they'd be like, why would you do that? That's so pointlessly hard. And it's like, what do you mean by pointlessly hard? Like, what are you talking about? No, this rules. This is great. This is a wonderful experience.
But you know what? That's it. That's where it matters, right? Like, you sometimes even me, I get lost in the sauce, and maybe I've challenged myself, but not for challenges maybe that I truly wanted in a way. And I've experienced that, I think, this year. Yeah. Oh, but I wanted to talk a segue. It's not about this year per se. It is a little bit related to the slop thing, but something that really hits me really hard this year is how, and I know it's something that's been happening for a couple of years, but this year's hit me, is media literacy. Fucking dead. Like it's.
I have seen some bonkers takes. I have seen some pretty crazy stuff.
This year especially, I've just like, people can't understand art or a piece of media, like any format. I feel that it would be considered media, and it's just like, I don't know if it's an effect of like the absence of wanting to think. Like, is it education? I'm not sure. But this year, more than ever, just like, man, it's just like, we're brain dead over here. Like, I don't know. I don't know if there's something you noticed, but like I said, it's been declining for some time now. But it's been crazy to me, like seeing some takes online, just being like, just like, do you not understand what's happening? Especially as streamers, I feel like we are in the VTuber sphere, but like there's also, you know, the regular streamers, like where there has been discourse because they love this shit, and I was just like, people completely disconnected to like others or what's happening, and it's just like, I don't know, more than ever, like I've seen what people would like call drama and whatnot, because people are just not able to understand, like, or read between the line, or they
I've seen some whoppers. I will admit that media literacy this was a lot of what my sociology was in. I was not like a surveys guy. I was like a media interpretation guy. And the one of the things that people often complain about, a very common form of people complaining about media literacy, often revolves around values. Okay. So a movie, I like to talk about Scorsese films because people have crazy interpretations of Scorsese films. And not only do they have interesting interpretations of, I say crazy, I should say interesting. Not only do people have very divergent opinions about Scorsese films, but they are also very confident that their interpretation is the only possible interpretation. So Taxi Driver came out in the 70s, right?
Okay.
And the way up until about the year 2005, probably 2010. The only interpretation I ever heard people have of Taxi Driver, I didn't watch Taxi Driver until like 2022. No, 2024, I don't think, is when I watched Taxi Driver. I'm very lazy about watching films. The dominant interpretation I ever saw was Travis Bickle is the manliest man, and this is a movie about how a morally virtuous, manly man is being held back by a corrupted society. And then starting like 2010, I heard people going, oh, obviously Taxi Driver is about how Travis Bickle is a pathetic little worm of a man who is coping for his failures by making up a Munch heroic narrative. And then he gets a bunch of people killed pointlessly. And these are completely disjoint interpretations. And having seen the film, I think both of those are viable interpretations. It's a matter of what you consider valuable before you even started watching the film. And this often gets cast as a question of media literacy, but I don't think it is. I don't think there's any amount of, if you are the type of person who thinks that the problem facing America is that manly men don't get enough opportunities to shoot people, then like a movie where a manly man, where a guy like has a kind of dead end job and then he works out a lot and then he buys some guns and then he shoots some criminals, like it's really hard for you to interpret that as about how pathetic he is, right? Like you're just not going to do it, and so. That is this is one of my kind of like bugbears about this. Is like there's definitely times where it's not really like literacy as a scalar quantity. It's about what are you bringing to the work when you encounter it, and what do you care about. And most art is actually kind of ambiguous and complicated, and so you'll wind up with a fairly wide variety of interpretations, and that will kind of run the gamut depending on what the people involved think or even want to be true, right? Like that's actually a thing that is, I think, very important. It does kind of tie into our AI point, is that people are pretty willing to believe stuff that they just wish was true.
Yeah, going full delusion.
Yeah. I'm old, so I prefer to use the phrase self-flattery, right? People like to be flattered, and are willing to believe flattering things. I will say that this was a big disjoint between me and a lot of the AI people, is that I tend to view obsequiousness with suspicion, right? If somebody comes up to me and I go, "Hey, how are you doing?" and they immediately start trying to suck my dick, I think something has gone awry, right? I think that there's a problem here. And apparently that makes me unusual. Apparently that appears to be an unusual trait on my part. Miss Janken makes a point here of like, and this is a challenge of the way that communications happen on, I would say, social media, but that would be dishonest of me, because that would be a pretense that I actually understand anything that's happening on Instagram or TikTok, which I don't. It might be true on those platforms, I just don't know. But on Blue Sky and Twitter, like, yeah, that is very frustrating. That is a very frustrating thing where people like try to do hot takes, and the hot take is just like a plot summary. And there's levels of irony to this where like that's something that people do all the time, like as an intentional irony that can be missed out on if you're not familiar with the particular poster.
But sometimes there could be a non-irony, though. There are
sometimes there is. It can be challenging to tell, and I mean, like sometimes the irony is very obvious, as in the case of one of my favorite tweets of all time. You may not know this, but murder is wrong in Japan. It goes against the principle of ikiru, which means to live.
I've never seen that, but that's pretty good.
It's really good. It's
that's
really
pretty obvious, though. If you don't get, but that's the thing. A lot of people would probably not see it as very obvious.
I was choosing it as an example because it's extremely obvious. I was choosing it as an example because it's super obvious.
I'm telling you, some people would be like, "Oh yeah," like they would go full on otaku, not otaku. They would go weeaboo. And it would be oh yes, she has a concept of like ikiru, blah blah blah, and then some people. Then that's the kind of people I'm telling that like have been more and more predominant. I feel well,
well, and actually, this is an issue of like of communication, right? And communication and epistemology. That I'm sorry, epistemology just means like how do you know things. Epistemology is like how do you know a thing, and a lot of the time how you know something is that somebody else told you, but how trustworthy was that resource? So here's an AI related thing that has been driving me bonkers for the last week or so that is related to QA. This is a QA specific relationship here, which is the use of AI assets as placeholder assets.
It's been a topic in the recent days, even.
Yeah, in the recent days, and this has driven me absolutely bonkers because, Mr. Janken,
What's up?
when you put a placeholder asset in,
Yeah.
to anything, right? It doesn't just
Yeah.
have to be a video game. It can be a movie. I write articles, right? I use placeholders in my articles where like I kind of run out of steam on a subject, or to be honest, the writing mode that my brain is in when I am writing arguments versus writing connections between arguments and writing summaries, those are all different things. I do those on different days. I don't just like write all of my thoughts. I write my arguments, I write my footnotes, I write my summaries, I write those all on different days. Or at least in different writing sessions. So, what would you say is a load-bearing, absolutely critical feature of a placeholder asset? What would you say is a really important thing that if a placeholder asset doesn't have it, it fails as a placeholder?
It's
pretty binary.
Yes, it's very easy. You need to be easily identifiable.
Easily identifiable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
So a placeholder asset that is designed to camouflage itself into the background is a failed placeholder asset.
No,
it is
100%
literally
agree.
worse.
This is why
literally worse than a red square.
in video
literally
games,
worse.
In video games,
Yeah.
the most of placeholder I've seen are like in bright fucking pink that are like impossible to mistaken as not being a placeholder.
There was some like level designer or game engine where I believe the placeholder asset was big block letters. I'm bad at Unity.
Sure. Anything to make it obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But yes,
like what I do for placeholders, I will. This is what I do for placeholders in my own writing. Is I use square brackets.
Okay.
Because that's actually I don't know if people are probably aware of this. Yeah.
It could be maybe like if I don't know, right? If someone else took it,
if you don't know, if somebody else is,
exactly.
if it's somebody else's, that's well, I don't just write, I don't just use square brackets. I tend to use like footnote this, expand, like I do this, and I use the square brackets because I can control F for them. Trivia.
I see.
Like that's the reason why I use the square brackets, because other than for sick, square brackets should not appear in the final product.
No.
For sick, they should.
But same thing with video games. This is why they need to be you need able to identify them, because it is a failure if a placeholder ends up in the end product.
Yeah, it is a failure.
It is a QA failure.
And so if somebody is trying to tell you, oh yeah, this thing that is designed to blend into the background and look like a reasonable facsimile is a placeholder asset, that is a lie on par with these wheels should be square. And that doesn't mean that the person telling you directly is that level of liar, but it does mean that somewhere along the chain of custody of that argument was somebody who lied and didn't respect the person they were lying to. Because it is an egregious, ludicrous claim that, like, you should use placeholders that are difficult to tell are placeholders. That is insanity. That does not pass basic sniff test. So I'm just trying to tell this because I want to spread to people, like, no, like this is an insane claim. Like, you should not respect it. You should not respect people telling it to you. And if you are watching a company put that out in their public statements, it's because they don't respect you. And so, that's the one that's been like boiling under my blood for the last couple of days, because, like I said, that's like such a ludicrous lie. Yeah.
How did
on
we
a more
segue
cheerful
into
note?
This one?
on a more cheerful note.
Yes.
There's some things that we didn't get to.
Yeah, we have you had like good things?
I've already got my last angry note in our last 25 minutes, because I think this is a short one. We have to, okay. Next, we do have a wrap time
until we finish. We go on to what went well this year.
Yes. So for myself, Part of it is just I feel like I am being more clear and more clarified as a content creator, right? I am learning more about myself and about what I feel like works for me as a streamer and as a performer. This is often a process of very slow elimination for me, right? It's there are parts of my streaming where I came into streaming with a clear vision of what I wanted to do, but even within that vision of what I wanted to do is this enormous option space that, the thing that I have said very frequently is, if I streamed everything I want to stream in a week, I would be live on camera 500 hours a week. Right?
Yeah, I can understand, yes.
Like, it's one of those things I mostly try to say this because, like, this means that to me, if I figure out something doesn't work very well for me, that's actually a positive. That eliminates the pressure, that reduces some of that pressure to squeeze 500 hours into the 20 hours a week that I can actually be on camera before my brain starts to melt down.
Spreadsheet streams for us?
I've done it. You did? I am one of the people who has played Victoria 3 the most on Twitch.tv. And I have in fact actually opened up LibreOffice Calc live on stream and put the LibreCalc window on screen so that people can see the calculations that I'm doing to see how many iron mines I need in the next 6 months. I have done this because I'm a huge nerd. Yeah, if the big one for me, it has been horror games. Because I actually like horror games. That one is easy
for me because I hate them.
I would not play them on my own. If I'm on stream, if I'm in streamer brain, I enjoy playing them because I'm kind of...
I don't like them, but do I think they are the best type of content in general for gaming? I think that they might be because...
I think horror has a lot of advantages.
Yes,
I think horror has a lot of advantages.
It triggers a lot of emotion for you and for the viewer.
They're all very intellectually interesting. The horror fans are an actual block of people, but they don't just play one game, right? Like, if you're an Apex streamer and you get burned out on Apex, or Apex just becomes unpopular for reasons outside of your control, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Whereas with horror games, there's pretty much a new horror game that's like the popular one every month. Yes. So you're getting to play new games, but your audience still is into it.
And a lot of people, I have found, they want like one thing, right? So even if you change the game, at least you're playing horror games.
Yeah. No, I think horror hits like a really good middle ground between like variety and focus. And I have found that horror games do terribly for me. I am a terrible horror streamer. A huge problem here is that I really underreact. I'm not very scared by horror games. I am intellectually interested. Yeah.
Have you there's this corpo VTuber called Shinri? I don't know if you heard about
we've had this discussion. Yeah, we've had this discussion.
And they don't react, but what they do is the other part that you just said. They analyze the lore a lot, and like they try to understand these entities, or try to understand like the motivation of like whatever like is the horror focus. And again, they do it in a very nerdy way. I don't know. I'm just saying it seems to be working for them.
No, it might be working for him. It hasn't been working for me. I am okay with this because again, this allows me to like remove that from the pool of things I'm trying to do. So like, so I'm comfortable with that. But like, I just use that as an example because it's the one that like I feel there are other things that I've tried to stream. I streamed them like once, and I was just like, oh, that's not for me. Like that's not for me. And I have been feeling more comfortable with some of the things that I've been doing. I feel like my calligraphy has gotten a lot better.
Well, you've been doing it a lot, so
I've been doing it a lot. Well, it's not just that I've been doing it a lot, because I've been doing calligraphy in my life for a very long time. Like my total lifetime amount of calligraphy done is
but were you doing it as much as you are since you're streaming?
I think it's less important that I'm doing it more than that I am doing it with a lot more intention.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I am being a lot more critically aware of what I am doing now. I'm taking it much more seriously. It's, you know, practice makes perfect, but only if it's perfect practice, right? Like you can't just kind of like doing scales over and over again is not going to improve your technique that much unless you're like, you know, being very intentional and thinking about it and expand and pushing yourself. And I have been, and my calligraphy is substantially better than it was even a year ago. My painting is not. My painting has not made meaningful improvement, but I'm okay with that.
Have you painted?
Yeah, I paint minis sometimes.
Right, your minis. Yes.
Yeah, I paint minis sometimes. I'm expecting that to improve substantially more in the next year. I'm not too worried about it because a lot of what I am doing in that is, you know, sometimes I just get a little bit tired of doing calligraphy. And my gains in calligraphy tend to be relatively small, right? It tends to be relatively minor gains. Whereas with painting, I am a newbie, right? And you get those newbie gains, the newbie gains. So I've been feeling better about that. I'm feeling more clear about my future, not just in content creation, but outside of content creation. I feel like I've got more of a plan for the next 5 or so years of my life.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, within 3 years, it actually kind of falls off. And I've made some pretty big differences in the lives of some of the people around me. So those are like the positives. Those are like the big positives for the last year. Those are some of the very big positives. Oh, thank you, Ms. Janken. You're welcome. You're welcome. I thought that you would appreciate it. I thought you would appreciate it. And I know that next week is yours, Mr. Janken.
Yeah, well, you mean in 2 days?
Well, you're going to get it belated
yes.
then because I'm going to do it Monday. So, sorry.
Yes,
I'm going to do it Monday.
But,
I'm going to do it in US Monday, which is Tuesday for you. So you're going to get a couple days.
No worries. But yes, it's my birthday is in 2 days. Let me jump in. What, like, actually, I'm not gonna lie. My 2025 has been like one of the roughest year of my life. I would say, but I think if I have learned one thing this year is, and it's a work in progress, is that I have to respect myself a little bit more. And
it's such a challenge. It's such a challenge. Yeah.
And maybe in all that, trying to be a little bit less hard on myself and trying to see my victories a lot more. I've with the hardship and everything is very hard. It's very easy. I mean, to see what went wrong, right? And then we forget a little bit of what went right. And I think just overall, it was this kind of year, you know, that is rough, but you needed it to move forward. Does that make sense? So
yeah,
in a way, I think my 2025 was a lot of that. I've realized that, like, one of the thing with VTubing that I really like to do, but is at the same time I've had issue, is I like doing event. I like making it big. I like you know, organizing shit and all that stuff. And I've managed. That's the one constant thing I've been having, I feel, on my channel, is being able to pull events, and I've done it like multiple times. So yeah, I just need to find a way to make more of it, and you know, finding some good time in that. But overall, yeah, it's been such a rough year, and especially being unemployed for such a long time. At some point, I've realized, and I've disconnected a lot with like society in a way, like, you know, like going to work, yada yada, all that shit. And I really want to find a way to be more, how can I say, not free, but I've come to the point where I need to like being more happy in general what I do, and not accept things that don't make me happy. It's hard. A lot of people like, oh, sometimes you have to go through it. But yeah, in respective, this is also why my birthday, I called it like that, happiest birthday, because I feel like it's always easy to being hard. It's easy to being hard on yourself and just being like, oh, I do it like because I dream big, because I aim high. But 2025 kind of taught me that like at the end of the day, and this is literally, I think, one of the first things we said today. Yes, I kind of want to feel like I understand what I'm doing, and I have like a certain control of it. And then I know it's even something we talked about in our own Men Yap. But at the end of the day, as long as like I'm happy in all this, 2025 taught me that like I should just like nurture myself more and just enjoy it. And just like not overthink.
Well, it's very hard to get used to respecting yourself and to treating yourself appropriately and standing up for yourself. This is a skill that I think people tend to spend a lot of their life learning. And I think I would say about 80+% of the people, 80-90% of people don't know how to stand up for themselves, and about the remainder of the people don't know when to just kind of let other people have a win. And some of us kind of struggle with both of those, but it's very challenging. And you know, I have my own specific version of that, right? Where I love being on camera and I love streaming, and if I didn't have some awareness of the fact that my streams get really bad if I don't take enough breaks, and if I don't do enough things off stream, like read books and exercise, I would be streaming an enormous amount more, and I would be burning myself out like crazy. I would not respect my own time and my own body. And these are things that I think we all need to learn. It's something that I am, you know, continuously learning how to do, right? It is a continuous war between doing the thing that feels immediately right and doing the thing that I know is good for my health. Right?
Yeah. And like this is all Men Yap after all, so you know, we gotta
we're telling you all to we're telling you all to eat your vegetables here, right? To eat your vegetables and get your cardio in.
Exactly.
Like it's so that's you know, that's something that we all need to hold on a second. No, sip of water. That is something that we all need to, you know, kind of learn, and we're all learning continuously. And you know, some of the stuff that you've told me is, you know, stuff that I think was some real positive moves, right? Some real positive moves for you. And I know that they like a thing that I have learned over the years is that very rarely do good decisions feel comfortable. There's something of a pretty much every decision I've made that I think made me feel that was like particularly good for me in the long term was a decision that scared the absolute crap out of me in the moment. So that's, I don't know, that's something I guess to think about. And I guess that's maybe, you know, we're looking forward to the next year. We're looking forward to 2026.
It has to be a good one. It's the year of the horse. I've been like spending my 2025 being like horse obsessed. Obviously, this is the one.
I have no idea what my 2026 holds. There is enough uncertainty in the first couple of months of 2026 for me that like by March there's just a kind of giant black hole where I have no idea, right? I have no idea. It hurts my head to even try to think about what my 2026 is going to be like. I don't
know what you tell your viewers, and I'm not going to say, but we did talk about your 2026.
Yeah. I've got I think people can be okay with knowing that I will basically not be streaming in January. Starting in like I'll be streaming through the first week of January, but by like January 6 or 7 will be like my last stream until like February. Probably.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for bad reasons. I just have a lot of.
But from what you told me, it's gonna be a big year for you.
It should be. It should be. It's entirely possible that some of the stuff that I am trying to do is going to completely fail. Right? Like that's the thing, right? I am
like you said, like you just said, like sometimes it's not the most comfortable.
It's not the most comfortable, and it's stuff that but yeah, it's we should but like this is like what I said, like as a person, as a human, you need to occasionally do something that you're uncomfortable with. And that's I guess kind of my old man wisdom for the people in chat is to think about something in your life that you're doing and you don't actually have a good reason to do it. And figure out a way to stop doing it. If you look at something that
if it really has like because sometimes we do things that we think maybe we don't have like real reason, but you know, there are sometimes some stuff just like, it makes me just like give me a good feeling. It makes me feel good.
Well, right? I mean, I feel like that's a good enough reason, depending on how hard of a thing it is to do. I think that's fine as a reason goes. But like, if you're doing something because it's just like a habit that you don't understand anymore,
yes,
maybe revisit that. You know, maybe think about it. Yeah, Shark Ray, that happens a lot, and it's I think that's a lot of the way that people wind up having midlife crises is they realize that they've been autopiloting through life.
And
I think it's worth trying to live with some intentionality, right?
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
it's really easy. I feel I've never been on autopilot, but I can see a lot of people who are on autopilot. You know, they wake up, they go to work, they don't like what we were talking about.
There was a period of my life where I was so on autopilot that I would wake up on the train dressed and showered. Right? Like I like the first thing I remembered in the day was being like in the middle of my commute.
Wow.
With no memory or awareness.
Zombie your way.
Yeah, literally zombieing my way through the first hour plus of the day. Not a great way to live your life, right?
No.
So, I recommend thinking a bit about like what you're doing that is not aligned with what you want to do and isn't progressing you towards the things you want to do. I'm not telling you how to judge what you want to do. If what you want to do is blow up the planet, I might recommend rethinking that plan. But you know, if one of my favorite comedy articles in all time is about how to blow up the Earth. I love that article so much. It turns out really hard. Turns out destroying the Earth is very challenging.
So basically, less brain rotting, just like
try to
Dude, we gotta reach to
we were complaining about Twitter earlier, and I am almost kind of grateful.
I need to fucking like have less Twitter in my life, man. It's just like
They did a recent change to it where it's not displaying like things that I want to see nearly as much, and I like I'm getting a lot of people who like I don't follow just keep on getting pushed. And it's like I might be at the point where like I go to Twitter and I post and I don't actually even read anything on there. Because I'm just like sometimes Twitter has been like, oh, there's somebody posting like a cool like quiz or meme format that I want to play with, but I'm seeing like I'm seeing a lot less of that, and it's kind of like, well, this is like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
No, but I think in general that's the thing. Like a little bit from what you just said, right? Sometimes you gotta catch yourself being like, what am I doing? Because sometimes I swear to God, like it happened to me too. I'm just like, what? I have other things to do. Like or like I have like I could be doing that instead. Like just like
and oftentimes it's really simple stuff. You know, the obvious one is like we said, Twitter or a video game that you don't actually really enjoy very much anymore.
Yes, I hear people telling me like, "Oh, but I have to finish that story, that series, even if I don't like it because like I've started it." I was like, "What? No, you don't have to." Like the FOMO, like
I will admit that the most recent book that I finished largely because I didn't like it, but I also did not want to have the experience in the future of like somebody of being like, yeah, I thought that book was kind of boring and stupid, and somebody being like, well, did you finish? And be like, well, no. So I finished it, so that I just like. So like in the future, if somebody was like, "Oh, but did you read the book?" and it's like, "Yeah, I did." Like I want to be like,
I like it just to not get caught. Maybe get caught off guard. It drove you to actually finish.
Yeah. So that's but like yeah, I've gotten much more aggressive about dropping manga because nobody's gonna give a shit, right? Like nobody's. This was an academic history book that was like really influential. So like I did feel an obligation to finish it because it like gets cited a lot by people I talk to, and then I'm just like, yeah, you guys are overrating this shit. But the like if I drop like a Yuri slow burn romance number 8,000, like nobody cares. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It's fine. I'm not going to face any social consequences for that one. But yeah, I do recommend thinking about like, you know, are the books you're reading making you happy? Is the food you're eating
or anything?
making you happy?
Yes, exactly. It's crazy that you say that. Maybe it's a good way to end it because when I mentioned it yet, and I'll mention it quickly. So I quit a second job after a 3-day working there, right?
Yep.
And then the moment that I did that, I was thinking, you know, and literally what you were just about to say. I've decided like I needed to make a plan. That's crazy. A plan to be happy. Where I was literally stating to myself, to be happy, I need this, that, this. And I was like, these are the fundamental that I need in my life to be happy. And I have to, no matter what, I have to respect that. I have to like these things have to make me happy because they do under normal circumstances. And sometime also you need to you like you said, you need to decide to this doesn't make me happy, so we flip. This makes me happy, so I need to do it more, or I need to do it, period. But often it needs to be conscious. It's often happiness. I hate this sentence because it's not always true, but happiness can be a choice. I'm adding the word "can" here because it's more complicated than that.
You don't have there's a lot of stuff you don't have control over in life, but there's quite a lot of stuff you do have control over. And I am admittedly a person who likes to focus on the basics, right? I like to focus on the simple things, and I like to, when I think about what I tend to have control over, and for that matter, what makes me happy, it tends to be, you know, cooking food that I like. It tends to be doing exercises that I like. It tends to be talking to people that I like. It tends to be reading books that expand my mind and watching movies that are thought-provoking and playing video games that have an extremely ridiculous amount of flashing lights. So it's worth thinking about the things that are. And you don't have to have that deep of a theory, right? Like, oftentimes this makes it sound like you are expected to have a really high degree of self-knowledge. I think it's just kind of worth, like, thinking after you've done something, like, did that actually help me?
Did that
do I actually feel better? Do I actually feel better having done that? And, I mean, this is one of the ones that this is definitely one of those things I'm going to have to work on today or tomorrow. Sometimes it's very simple stuff like keeping your space organized.
Yeah, tell me about that.
You know, it does exert a cognitive tax on you to have your space not organized in a way that you like, which might be too organized, right? Like that's one of the ones that I had to learn in my later in life was that if I actually put everything away in drawers in a neat and tidy fashion, I actually am miserable because I can't find anything.
Yes.
Like, it's very frustrating. So I am.
But at least you know
that's. At least I know it. It's something that I've had to learn about myself. That I need. That I thrive under a certain amount of chaos.
Yeah.
But it's these are things to learn about yourself. And you know, if you are finding yourself being weirdly miserable for no reason, you know, it might be something big, but it might be something small. If you feel like you're being miserable for no reason, it might be again like
could be time for therapy too, but
could be time for therapy. Could be your bed's fucked up. Yes. Could be too much or too little caffeine. Who knows? There's a lot of things. Think about it.
It's true. It's true.
So think about it and try to make changes. You've got the power to at least eat the brands of potato chips you like, right? You've got at least that level of power over your life. So
yeah, I won't go like in full detail, but I went to see a therapist once, and they were like, "We're gonna start by you making your bed."
Yeah. No, it's remarkable. It's remarkable how much. For me, one of the ones that I always think is really funny is I have very bad ADHD. I was not diagnosed until quite late in life, and I don't get medication. Right, I'm raw dog in this, and a thing that made an enormous difference for me was shoe hangers.
I know, like, listen, I know you told me today you had like stuff, but I'm like, I gotta at least like, I have to ask, like, shoe hangers? What?
So it's there. You've probably seen them on like, I don't think they're very popular anymore, but a while they're very simple.
I think I know what they are.
It's a thing. It's a thing that hangs off of a door. And it's just got a bunch of little pockets on there.
For putting your shoes in. What I thought. Yeah. But okay.
So this is a very funny story to me, and I think it's a good one to end on. This was not from 2025. This was from 2023, I think. But it's I think it's a funny story. I remember very clearly. I was coming home from work, and I said, "I'm getting low on dental floss. I should pick some up at CVS." So I went to CVS and I picked up some new dental floss. And then I go home and I go to my drawer where I'm storing my dental floss and my other, dental things. And I have 6 months of dental floss in there, like going forward, because they were out of sight. And so I forgot. And so I didn't know how much dental floss I had and needed. And so I was buying dental floss I didn't need. And I was just like, oh, I literally cannot even keep track of how much stuff I own. And I live in a 9 square meter apartment.
I remember saying that's very small.
Yeah, I live in a shoebox, and I still can't keep track of everything I own. I need my stuff to be visible. I need to see my stuff on a daily basis, or I will not know that I have it. So this means that my living space there are people who will absolutely have a fucking anxiety attack if they see what my room looks like. Like, I know people who, if they saw the way that I organize my clothes and my paints and stuff like that, they would have an absolute conniption fit. But like, yeah, I need that because otherwise I will forget everything and I will be stressed out all the time trying to remember everything.
What about the shoe hanger?
Oh, that's where I'm storing stuff like.
Oh, okay. Because
that's where I'm storing. That's where I'm storing
medications.
That's where I'm storing Post-it notes. I'm storing shoes. Unsurprisingly, I'm storing toiletries in there.
So you see it. So
I see it.
You know you have it.
So I know that I have it. Anything that I don't use, like every day, that isn't clothes, is in there. Like is stored
great.
Like that or similar. Like but yeah.
But you better understood yourself, right?
Yeah, I better understood myself.
I knew that this was like probably not making you happy, or you were like,
it was making me miserable. It was making me miserable to be that stressed out about keeping track of my things. Right. And it's been an enormous improvement. It's very cheap. It was like a $10 solution that has made an enormous difference in my life. So again, think about what's actually weighing on your mind. Think about what's actually, because again, like, it's not what people think I should be living my life like, because I'm this nerdy, highly educated guy who wears sweater vests. And they expect me to have this very organized and prim and proper space. And no, it is chaos in here, but it is chaos that I can understand, that I can follow. So that's what I need. And that makes my life a lot happier. And I recommend thinking genuinely and authentically about what makes you happy. Yeah.
Speaking
of,
yeah, you're about to go do something that makes you happy.
I need to go. I am. A friend is waiting on me.
Oh, okay.
So,
well,
yeah.
I think overall, like, that's a good lesson to end with. And thank you once again,
I think
Al.
So too. Thank you very much, Mr. Janken.
We're gonna probably try to do this a little bit more. Like, there's been a lot with the new model and everything, and yada yada.
Yeah,
but
I'm optimistic that we can get more frequently than once every 4 months. I think we can pull that off. But yes, we'll talk. We will talk, and I look forward to the next Old Man Yap.
Old Man Yap will be back.
I know that Miss Janken is looking forward to the next Old Man Yap. So thank you all for being here. Right?
Yes, and thank you everyone
for having
watching. It's my birthday in 2 days, so you better come.
Happy birthday,
people.
Happy birthday, Mr. Janken.
Thank you.
All
right. We're gonna call it here today. So everybody, thank you for watching, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh wow, we're ending. Thanks for the rate. Thank you. We're ending. Should I send people elsewhere? Hold on. I don't want to just like receive people as a guest and then let me see. Check and she just graduated from college. All right, say hello to Bear to me, everybody. She's a good friend of mine. All right, bye-bye for now.